This will be the first of the CDRA series, a 6-race series. Albany, Saratoga, Lebanon Valley, and Glen Ridge Motorsports Park, 2 races at each. Want to send a shout out to Hazer. I know he can't be here with us. I know he'd love to be, but the driving force behind the CDRA, as this the first of that 6-race series, will end up right here at Albany, Saratoga as part of the massive weekend. Taking a look at the way they're going to line up here for tonight's Sportsman feature. Sportsman feature going to go 25 laps in distance. Starting up on the inside front row, it'll be the 2A at Tyler Rapp. Outside of him, going to be Chris Jakubiak with the 49. Back in row number 2, he was the winner at the end of the program last year on opening night. That's Joey Scarborough. Scarborough with the 11 Vermont goes from the 3rd starting spot inside row 2. Outside of him, John Miller in the number 12. Then it's going to be Bryce 𝗏𝗏 in the 2B and Dylan Madsen, the 89. They make up row 3. Row 4, the airborne champ, that is Donovan Lussier in the 61 L car on the inside of row 4. Outside of him, the 88 of Michael Wagner-Fitzgerald. 5 rows deep, it'll be the 18 of Jeff Washburn. He starts inside row 5. Outside of him, the 42D of Dan Grignon. Row 6, the 33 of Mike Benson, and the 02 of Cody Oakes. Row 7, the defending champion of this division, the all-time winningest driver here in sportsman competition, the 22 of Tim Hartman Jr. He starts inside row 7. Outside of him, the 23 of Scott Tousley. 711X of Connor Crane, the younger of the 2 Crane brothers, starts inside row 8. He's in the 15th starting spot. Outside of him, the 3J, that's Joe Judge. Derek Wagner in the 61 and the 5J of Pat Jones go side by side in row 9. Row 10, the elder of the 2 Crane brothers, the 711C of Chris Crane Jr. and the 42, the Ninja, Daryl Nutting. Then it's the 07 of Taylor Wasson, the 01 of Zach Buff, cars of 1 Concies, 61 of Alex Palmer Sawyer, Dave Baranowski in the 112, the 23G of Chad Gregory, Nick Arnold in the 1A, Derek McGrew Jr. in the 26 and the number 4 of Elliott Lussier round out your starting grid. That is the way they start. They make their way down between turn 3 and 4 for the first time. Down here across the line, leading lap number 1 off the top side, down the back straightaway. That is going to be the 49 of Chris Jakubiak. Jakubiak showing the way down here to lead lap 1. He'll bring them back down across the line for lap number 2 as well. Jakubiak, your leader, working down here off of turn number 4. Up into turn number 1, Jakubiak out front. Tyler Rapp in the 2 car in the number 2 spot. They work down here off of turn number 4. Jakubiak, your leader. Rapp rides second. Scarborough in 3rd. Madsen now in 4th position. Rounding out your top 5, going to be the 12 of John Miller. Then we got a side-by-side battle as they work their way down here into turn number 3. The 61 car up on the outside. That is Donovan Lussier. Lussier up on the outside of the raceway. He'll get by the 2B of Bryce 𝗏𝗏. Closing in on 𝗏𝗏 now. The 33 of Mike Benson next in line. Showing away down the back straightaway, out in front. Starting to put some distance. Chris Jakubiak working down into turn number 1. Looking at the race down here into turn number 1 as things get a little heavy. Here's the 61 of Lussier drawing in on the backside. Now going to swing a little bit high up here off of turn number 4. Donovan Lussier working here off of corner number 2. Drawing it on the 12, but John Miller, as we see him down here in turn number 3. Miller off the inside of the raceway. Lussier next in line as they work their way down here into turn number 1. That is the race for 5th spot. Lussier going to swing up to the outside. They'll go side by side now with Miller only for a moment as now Lussier going to pick up the position. That'll take over 5th spot for Lussier. Now Lussier going to draw in on the 2A at 𝗖𝗗𝗥𝗔 𝗥𝗰𝗴. Meanwhile, your leader, Chris Jakubiak, has got into the lapping process. He has caught the tail end of the field off at turn number 2. He's going to go by Chad Gregory over there in turn number 2. Gregory now down a lap to your leaders. Here's back at the battle as we look down here into turn number 3. They work off the corner. Bryce Briall down to the inside with the 2B car. Working up to the outside of him. That is the 22 of Tim Hartman Jr. Keep an eye on Hartman as we're just now seeing a halfway sign. 13 of the 25 now in the books. Tim Hartman Jr. going to work now down on the inside of John Miller. Hartman in the 22 looking low on Miller. Car off the pace. That is the 2. The 2A off the pace and now going to lock it down here on the front straightaway. And that's going to bring Yellow out on the speedway. So Yellow is out. Tyler Rapp coming to a stop down here on the inside portion of the raceway. Just towards the end of the front stretch, Rapp under power, trying to make his way to the pit area. But Rapp was up inside the top 5. He's going to go back behind the wall with just over 10 laps remaining. So 14 of the scheduled 25 on the board now. Chris Jakubiak had left the remainder of the competition behind him. He was in the process of the lapping process. He had caught the tail of the field. That's going to bring the field to him as now Jakubiak over here in turn number 2. He's got the 11 Vermont of Joey Scarborough right behind him. Made number of mentions that a year ago Joey started the season in Victory Lane here at the Great Race Place, and right now putting himself in position to duplicate that feat. Dylan Madsen making his way there in the 3rd position. Madsen had started back in the 6th position. Jakubiak came from the outside front row. Scarborough started in row 2. Tim Hartman Jr. has made his way just outside the top 5. He's going to restart outside of row number 3. TH2 started back in 15th position. As we get ready to go, we got one turned around down in turn 4. And that's going to bring us back under caution. The 7-11 of Chris Crane Jr. was the car that got turned around originally. Contacted from the tail and turned around, and that set off. Well, looks like the best part of a half a dozen cars altogether involved in that. See Chad Gregory's Next Generation Roofing 23 down there. Michael Wagner Fitzgerald's 88 also. I believe Ashton Smythe is down there in the scene. Ashton, take it away.
Yeah, most of these cars able to drive away unscathed, except the 01 machine. The 88's back bumper completely hooked into the right side of the 01. That whole right side body panel completely bent in, as well as you see all of the fluid on the racetrack. That is from the 01 machine. Driver is out of the race car. I'm going to walk over to Zach here and see if we can get a word about what he saw here. Zach Buff, not the way you want to end your night. What did you see that put you in this position?
I didn't really see much besides the two cars on the bottom slamming each other, and then everyone just piled up. But it sucks that opening night and got a bunch of junk race cars because of, yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Clear displeasure out of Zachary Buff, and he will have a lot of work to get done here this week in the shop.
Thank you, Ashton. Zach Buff, obviously not happy with the situation down there, having to come through a last chance qualifier. He picked up the victory in one of those two LCQs, but now he'll go off on the business end of the record. Zach Buff, one of the cars that will not continue from this incident here on lap 14. Taking a look at the way they come by here. Chris Jakubiak came from the outside front row. He is your leader, the 11 Vermont of Joey Scarborough, riding in the runner-up position. Looks like Donovan Lussier is the car that's made his way up into the third running spot. Lussier in the 61, the Canadian campaigner, started back in the 7th position. Lussier will restart from third. John Miller in the 12. Will restart from position number 4. Then it's our defending champion, Tim Hartman Jr., restarting from spot 5, the all-time winningest driver in this division. 43 career victories. Here, the Service Master, number 22 car. Dylan Madsen with the 89 being motioned back up in the field. The Madsen overhead doors. Fox Hill Campground, sponsor number 89, Madsen out of Spencertown. He will restart from third, so that is going to shake up that top 5 that I just gave you. He'll come back into the third position. Lussier will restart 4th. John Miller 5th. 1 spot out of a top 5. That's where we find Tim Hartman Jr. Behind Hartman, it'll be the 33 of Mike Benson. Benson, a longtime competitor. He had a pretty sizable time away from the race car. Stepped away. Him and his dad, Len, both raced here in the Sportsman division decades ago. Mike continued on to do some big block racing down at our sister speedway down in Lebanon Valley. Came back to shake down a Buddy Sportsman car a couple of years ago. We see how that worked out. He got the bug bit, and he is back. We are back underway. Jakubiak now going to have his hands full as Joey Scarborough rides there in the runner-up position. Scarborough looking down to the inside as they make their way down here through turn 3 and 4. Dave Farney shows 2 handfuls on the way by. We're 15 in and 10 laps remain here in our Sportsman feature event. Side by side, they run back through the pack. Tim Hartman Jr. now working side by side there. Connor Crane up on the outside. They look to make it a 3-way battle there with John Miller off of turn 4. They work down here off of turn number 2. Down the back straightaway they go. Here's Here's Crane looking down to the inside of John Miller. Up on the outside, that's where we find Hartman's 22. Hartman will make the pass. Crane will come along with him as they work down here between turns 1 and 2. Leaders down here off the corners. They make their way down across the line, closing in on the 5 to go mark. We'll see it next time around as they come down here into turn number 1. That's Donovan Lussier trying to make a move on the 11 of Joey Scarborough. Lussier in the 61, riding in third, trying to run down Scarborough. There and challenge him now off at turn number 4. Here's your battle for second. Down to turn number 1 they go. Donovan Lussier, the Canadian competitor, trying to get a run on the Vermont campaigner, Joey Scarborough. They both trail your leader, the 49, up on the front of this one. Continuing to show the way, Jakubiak. But we got a good battle there for that runner-up position. Got another 2-car battle back behind them as they make their way down to turn number 3. Here's Lussier trying to reel in Joey Scarborough as we're inside of 5 laps to go now. Scarborough, a year ago, stood in victory lane on opening night. Right now, he's just trying to hang on to the runner-up spot. Leader coming down off turn 4. Down across the line, Jakubiak counting off the final laps here in this Sportsman feature, the first of the 6-race CDRA series. Dave Farney ready to show the 2 to go sign when they come to the line this time by. It'll be 2 laps to go for your leader. Here's the second place race once again down to turn number 1. Joey Scarborough able to hold off Donovan Lussier. Now Lussier going to pull side by side with him down to turn 3. Side by side battle for the runner-up spot. White flag has already been displayed to your leader. Lussier taking over the runner-up position. There is your leader working his way down. Jakubiak off of turn number 4. Coming down to the double checkers. The winner of tonight's Sportsman feature is Jakubiak. Coming home second, going to be Donovan Lussier with the 61. Third spot going to go to the 11 Vermont of Joey Scarborough. Tim Hartman Jr. in the 22 and the 89 of Dylan Madsen coming across the line together, 3rd and 4th. And looks like rounding out your top 5 is, I believe, picking up your top 5th spot there is Dylan Madsen. And that is your Sportsman feature event. Sportsman now completing their event, being told Victory Lane will be celebrated down behind the grandstand area in our Victory Lane. So the $1,060 will go to Jakubiak, as Jakubiak going to pick up the victory here in tonight's Sportsman feature.
And with that, Dan,